GEMCO Constructors is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of Purdue Basketball Live and are proud partners of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors.
About 30 seconds.
2024-25 Purdue basketball season is presented by Purdue Global. Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Your Central Indiana Honda dealers are proud to be longtime fans and supporters of Purdue Athletics. Purdue basketball is brought to you in
10 seconds.
Federal Credit Union, the official credit union for Purdue fans. Now, this is Purdue Basketball Live.
The weather is getting colder, the leaves are falling, it's getting dark very early, and that means it's time for basketball. And both the Boilermaker men's and women's basketball teams will have their final regular season tune-ups this week. Tomorrow night, the women's team will take on Indiana Tech. That game will tip off at 7 o'clock at Mackey Arena. And then Wednesday night, the men's team will take on Grand Valley State as they get ready for their season. That's also a 7 o'clock tip-off. Good evening, everybody, from Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. It is Purdue Basketball Live. We're going to talk about both the men's and women's basketball teams this year. We have Matt Painter standing by. He'll be with us for the first half hour of the show, and then women's basketball coach Katie Geralds will join us in half hour number 2. You can follow along tonight on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube on the Purdue Athletics channel. And we will talk with the head coach of the Boilermaker men's basketball team, Matt Painter, when we come back. This is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker basketball from Learfield.
Happens at the bottom of those piles when you're fighting for a basketball.
I feel like it's not as bad as football. Football is like the worst what they're doing to each other.
There's Lawyer again. He's got so much in the arsenal.
Yes.
Edie, brace for impact. 2 and a foul.
Hook, but he is getting downhill. Nolan Winter is going to be a good player, but he certainly needs some time in the strength and conditioning program. And this is just a big-time move. Isn't that he's just hanging out? Purdue's going to have to be good on the backside. Ilver got a good look, but couldn't make it.
They have given Ilver that 3 a couple of times. Breakneck speed. Jones. My goodness.
Jones in the open floor has been just hunting his offense. He's already got 8 points. Ilver goes vertical. Jones takes the bump. That's big-time concentration.
It was up 29-16 by 13. And Wall trying to skip it for Hepburn. It's intercepted. Eyes up. Lawyer. Got it. So much for that.
And Purdue has just been lethal in the open court today. They've got their eyes up. They're hunting shots. And Fletcher Lawyer looks like the Lawyer that was given Tennessee.
Already 6.5 for Wall, who had to pry himself off the ground recently. That's the third foul. And it's 2 and a foul.
Ball screen. Now you are a little bit worried about him as well. And Stephen Crowell trying to play 2. Really well done on the pass. Edie keeping it high, taking contact. And on the other side, he's got an opportunity for 3.
When he gets hot, because he will tell you about it.
Well, I think Indiana found out about that.
That is true. High-low. Really high to kind of low. And Kaufman red. Boilermakers trying to finish off an unbeaten Mackey Arena season. Smith switching hands. Edie using both of his mitts to be able to overturn it. So I agree with you in practice.
You're totally right.
Welcome back to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. GEMCO Constructors is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of Purdue Basketball Live and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors, boiler up. We are joined by Matt Painter. First of all, before we start asking questions, congratulations on a great season last year, trip to the Final Four, and what an experience it was, not only for you in the program, but also for the fans here tonight. I mean, you talk about taking over a city. I think the Boilermakers owned Phoenix for a few days.
Yeah, it was a great experience, obviously being able to get to the final game and obviously become a game short of our goal, but just a special experience, not like you said, not just for the players and the coaches, but all of our fans, and to really see that and see the backing that we have. We see it in different pockets, like we see it at exempt tournaments, or we see it like the first round of the NCAA tournament, and you know, you go other places and you're like, man, like we feel like this is a home game, and even though it's neutral, and so like it was cool to really see that. And one of the coolest moments of the year was kind of how when we played in Ann Arbor and we took over, you know, that arena. And I was like, hey, you said no one is here from Michigan. They said they're not. I said, well, what about all that right there? They said, all that right there is Purdue fans. And so it was cool to be able just to experience it, and for everything we went through the year before. And our guys really kind of set their jaw and, you know, fought through some adversity and obviously had a great year. So happy for them, and obviously winning the Big Ten by 3 games back-to-back years was pretty cool. Being #1 in the country for 3 straight years. So our guys have accomplished a lot, but I know they're hungry to be able to get back in the swing of things and compete and hopefully do it all over again.
And you would think it would have to be awfully exhilarating to get to that step, but also frustrating to get to that last step and not be able to get to the top of the mountain. So maybe that's certainly a little bit of a motivation for this year, no question.
Yeah, no question about it. Like, you know, to be able to get there and come so close, and you know, you get there and you win it. Like now you're going to do everything to win it again. You get there and you get short. Now you're going to do everything to get back there and try to win it for the first time. And you know, and that's the goal. And it's pretty lofty goals, but we gotta play better defense if that's the case. So I think that's the one thing about going on the road the way we did last year at Arkansas, and just last week, a couple days ago against Craton, is that you find out what your real problems are. And now it's, you know, you're not trying to convince your guys, hey, we need to really improve in these areas. They see that you need to improve in those areas, and you take a loss because of it. Now it's you don't want to lose again, and it's always good to take a loss and learn a hard lesson when it really doesn't, you know, it doesn't count against your record.
Coach Painter's talking about a charity exhibition game on Saturday night. Purdue traveled to Omaha to take on Craton, lost the game 93-87. Before we talk about the game itself, there was a reason you went to Omaha to play there, and that was because that area had been devastated by tornadoes back in April. And I said I think the most important number that came out of Saturday was $150,000, because that's what they were able to raise for United Way for disaster relief.
Yeah, you know, through the United Way, it was just a great cause, and I think anytime you go somewhere else, you want to be able to do something for that area and for that community, just like if somebody would come here. We haven't done it here yet because I like playing on the road. I like that experience of going on the road because you have a lot of neutral games, right? And you get in your exempt tournaments. We play at Indianapolis. We play in Birmingham. We play one road game in Milwaukee. So, like now, to play another road game. So when you get there and you're ready to go and you get into Big Ten season early now, and so you go to Penn State, now you've had some of those experiences. But back to your question, I thought it was just a great atmosphere and obviously a great cause through the United Way.
Yeah, somebody asked me why Purdue hasn't hosted one of these. Well, first of all, you really don't want to have to host one, because that means you've had a devastating, some sort of a natural disaster. So, you know, we don't want them to happen at all, but we certainly don't want them to happen in the backyard. All right, let's talk about the game itself. You knew going in, Craton is another top 15 team, got an outstanding All-American center, and they can shoot the ball. What did you see that you liked, and what did you see that you didn't like Saturday?
Well, obviously, both teams' offense was ahead of their defense, and I thought we knew how they were going to defend some things, and anytime people are playing in a drop, you're going to see more pull-ups. And I think that's what sometimes fans don't understand. They'll be like, well, why did you go away from threes? Well, they're not going to let us shoot threes. You know, we go and play Arizona, and Braden gets a lot of pull-ups because they're playing in a drop. Well, Craton plays into a drop, and they try to take away your threes from that, but then Braden's able to, you know, navigate and kind of go against the grain and get to his pull-up threes, and that's why you see all the shot attempts that he had, because that's what they were giving us. And so we wanted him to be aggressive in that sense and go after it. But, you know, our top 3 guys really scored the basketball. We didn't get a lot from the other guys, and that's not really their fault. They just didn't get a lot of opportunities for the way Craton was guarding. But, you know, our defense was below average at the best. And we played 12 guys in the first half. We played 11 in the second. But that's not, you know, here nor there. We could have played 8, and our defense wouldn't have been that good. So we have to get to work there. We got to do a better job of simply doing our job and then competing through those rules. And then once we start to do that, I think we'll really start to see some progress.
You mentioned the number, Matt, of the players who played. You've got more available. Have you made decisions at this point about red shirts? And if not, when will that happen?
Yeah, have not. We'll wait until we play the game on Wednesday versus Grand Valley State, and then on Thursday and Friday, be able to talk to a guy, or maybe two guys. We'll kind of see. It's I like all of our players, and they've all had moments in practice, and so like now you're just kind of jockeying with it as you kind of look and see like where's there's needs. Sometimes it's not about, hey, this guy's more ready than that guy. It's just you need more help maybe in a certain position. Right. Obviously, like Jakari Harris started for us right away. And, the one thing for us last year, with Lance Jones, he really gave us another defender. He gave us another ball handler. He gave us quickness. And so now that's a void for us. And so against certain teams, like Miles and Cam, fit that, and Fletch goes to the 2. But when people press or people like change defenses and doing stuff, that's where Lance really helped us. He really gave there. Jakari Harris really fills that void, like for some of the things that Lance did, because he can handle the basketball, he can make decisions, he can make shots, but he also can defend. He can lock people up, and still learning how we defend and how we do things, but excited. We have a lot of options, but we need to get consistency.
Well, and you mentioned the versatility and the options. You've got the ability to play big and play small, and the last few years you've had these mountains in the middle. You still got some mountains you can climb inside in the middle, but you don't have to play through them as much as maybe you have in the past.
Yeah, no question about it. And Zach Edey will spoil you. 100%. When things go wrong, or those guys who start to complain about pressure or someone heating them up, I'm just like, what's that got to do with throwing the ball to Zach?
Yeah.
Like, just get them, let them deal with him. Let them handle that. And our free throw discrepancy, keeping people off the line and then living at the free throw line really, really help you. So I think that's something like you got to be able to get layups. You got to be able to get to the free throw line. And you got to be able to play in transition. You got to be able to play with some offensive rebounds. If you're not stealing points somewhere, the game just gets too hard. And we really work hard on being efficient in the half court, but we got to work towards stealing points against everybody with his absence. I like our big guys. They're not him, and he wasn't there, when he was a freshman either. And so, but we have some guys that are going to be really, really good. We have some guys that have kind of had to wait their turn also. But I also think like Trey Kaufman, more than anything, has waited his turn.
Yep.
Now it's his turn, whether he's at the 4 or he's at the 5, to be a focal point for us.
All right, we're talking to Matt Painter. We need to take a break. This is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. And this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Transition will be key. Matt Painter really preached to his team, keeping Illinois out, and then you can just dump it down and let Edey go to work. Big-time flush.
This could definitely be a game where we see a lot of Cam Heide. His size, his physicality, he can match up with some of these bigger Illinois guards.
Deep touch, too deep. Zach Edey rocks the rim.
Round. And then when you let Edey catch this here, I mean, he's once again right at the charge arc. It's one dribble. He's rolling on Coleman Hawkins. And Hawkins, Stephen, he's fighting for his life.
Smith bounce it perfectly delivered for Edey.
Braden Smith, just a simple ball screen. You're popping out Mason Gillis and Marcus Damask. He's a little bit concerned there about Lance Jones as a shooter, rightfully.
But Purdue is doing so good at getting him by himself.
What a play. Beautiful lob inside, and Edey with the easy slam.
And they've been running that play for 3 years.
What you're trying to do for the rest of the game.
Doubled Edey immediately. Smith is left open. Cash from 3.
That's too easy right there. I mean, that's a step-in 3.
Post touch. Edey against Hawkins. Just bodies him up. Can't hit. Oh, the tip in. Kaufman ran. Counted and a foul.
Plays he made in that first meeting where he was just all about effort plays, all about getting on the glass. We talked about it early, Stephen. He's got the physicality and the size to deal with some of the problems Damask can give you. As we say that, what a block.
Edey erases it. Away.
We were pumping up the offenses coming in, but Zach Edey shooting that, but he's taking this.
Shannon, give and go. Hawkins, blocked.
Great block.
Edey, oh, he stares him down.
Talk about the way that Purdue has handled Terrence Shannon. You want to expound on that after this?
Edey just add 2 more mentality.
Well, just the fact that they've kept Shannon out of transition.
Welcome back. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. Again, the Boilermaker men will be taking on Grand Valley State. That'll be Wednesday night at Mackey at 7 o'clock. Rob Blackman and Bobby Riddell will have the call starting at 6, and then the real action starts next Monday night when Purdue opens the regular season against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. You mentioned Trey Kaufman-Renn before the break, and he's a guy that I think a lot of people are excited to see because he has been playing in large shadows for the last couple of seasons, and now it is his turn to come out and shine in the sunshine. And he gives you versatility inside and outside that really is hard to match in this conference.
Yeah, the thing that's jumped out to me more than anything is like we're really going to lean on him to score and be able to attack from the high post and the low post, but his ability to pass, he's really passed the ball well in practice and been unselfish, but we need him to be aggressive. You have to put stressors on the rim. Like whether you're driving the ball or you're posting the basketball or you're getting on the glass or you're attacking in transition, you got to be able to get the basketball to the paint. And that was something for us in that game that we struggled. We couldn't keep Craton out of the paint. So we got to do a better job defensively there. But from an offensive standpoint, Trey's really done some good things for us in practice, and he played well other night. And we just got to keep trying to utilize him to the best of our ability.
You've had great center play for the last several years, but you've also had pretty good guard play in the last couple of years in particular. And Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer seem like they're poised for another big season. Let's talk first Braden. You talked about the fact that you've got to get him to be aggressive offensively and look for his shot. For a guy that has always been kind of a pass-first mentality, how hard has that been?
Yeah, I think it's something that I talked to him about after his first year here. Just like you got to look to shoot the basketball more, and he did last year, but he also did a great job of running our team and setting people up. So he's got a good balance about him. I think there's going to be games this year like the Craton game that he has games like that where he scores 25 to 30 points. I think he'll have games where, he's, 10 to 20 points also, just because it's going to be what the defense, gives him. And I think he's going to be more aggressive no matter what. But we need him to shoot the basketball more, but we also need him to make the right decision. And, he got better at that between his freshman and his sophomore year, and you would just expect, the same jump to his junior year.
Fletcher Lawyer came in with a great reputation as a shooter, and I think that has been borne out, but he is much more than just a spot-up three-point shooter.
Yeah, he shot 44% last year. Obviously, he didn't shoot as well as his first year, and that happens a lot, when you deal with guys that can shoot like that first year and the wear and tear on your body and just all the responsibilities that you have. But no, he's been great. He made some really good plays. I thought he made a couple really nice steals, defensive steals for us. Other night he was 7 for 7 from the line. But just really trying to get him free. And Braden does a great job of finding him, but trying to get him off some pin downs, trying to get him with angles. He is good when he has angles, attacking closeouts, coming off of pin downs, kind of some quick hit, kind of some get action to where he can attack with it, and then make good decisions from there, whether he's a passer or a pull-up shooter or get to the basket. But we have to be able to get him to where they take him away. See, anytime you can have guys that can shoot that way and that kind of a threat, if they're really defended and they're taken out, it's going to open up spacing for everybody else. So I expect a big year from him.
It's a team that you're filled with guys that have opportunities to really shine, and another one is Caleb First, again, has been kind of playing in the shadows, but it looks like he's got an opportunity now, again, to reestablish himself as a big member of this rotation.
Yeah, you talked about Trey and, Braden and Fletch, and that kind of for us is where we, kind of set everything. And we've practiced a lot with different people at those other two spots, whether we're bigger or we're smaller. Then obviously, when Caleb was in there with Trey, they're kind of bookends, right? Kind of the 4-5, both of them are 4-5 type guys, and has a lot of experience. He started half the games as a freshman. He started half the games as a sophomore. Last year, we really went towards having skill with Zach. And that's where you saw like his minutes go down a little bit. Ethan Morton's minutes go down, and then we tried to put people out there that could really stretch the defense. But no, Caleb gives us a guy that can guard both positions, can play both positions, as a load of experience and playing in big-time games. So looking forward to him having a great year too.
Well, everybody's going to be looking to see what kind of production you get from that center spot. You mentioned Trey Kaufman-Renn can play there at times, but you've got Will Berg, you've got Daniel Jacobson. Talk about how those two are maybe alike and how they're different and how they can help you this year.
Yeah, and you got to throw Raleigh Burgess in there. He's kind of that guy that It's hard in practice when you have 13 guys that you like to get everybody the reps that they need. But like he's a 4-5 also, but he's bigger at 6'10", 6'11", can stretch the defense. Will started in the game. Other night he got into foul trouble and going against Ryan Kalkbrenner, who's a great player, one of the best players in the country. And Will's our most physical guy, but you got to be physical without fouling. You can't just get 4 fouls and play 8 minutes. Daniel's somebody that needs that strength. He needs to gain weight with the quickness, and but he's very agile, very long, obviously at 7'4", and does a lot of good things. Can block shots, can move, can run, knock down a 3 in the game against Craton. Can knock down that trail 3 right there. So there's a lot of guys right there. Raleigh can really shoot the basketball, can play inside, very versatile, can pass, knows what's going on, can play with physicality. So we have a lot of options right there, and that's what makes it tough, because like you want to do, when you feel like you have a team that can compete and make a run in the NCAA tournament, has a chance to win your league, you don't want the younger guys not playing, and then you're burning their year. And so like that's what it gets to be a little bit sticky and difficult for a coach to be able to project out, because you don't always know.
All right, we're talking with Matt Painter. We'll have a break here and then more of the coach after this. It is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
And now Caitlin Harper has to help from the midline. Well, that's going to free Sarah Williams up for a little dump pass.
Wide open look, and that's cash. 3-point hit, Caitlin Harper.
And Caitlin Harper is a tough matchup for any post players. They invert the offense for her. So right there, they just set a fade. She's a true 3-level scorer. We just saw her mid-range. She can get to the rim, but she can also shoot the 3.
With Jones into the game, giving it up. And instant impact off the bench. Pinballing around. Wouldn't quite sit down. Deep 3, lines down, Madison Layden.
Katie Geralds, great staff. They're known for playing scout deep. So they're a team that if doubling is going to work, they're going to double. If zone is going to work, they're going to zone as Caitlin Harper hits that 3.
Being doubled on the box out. Nice extra pass for an Ellis 3 that is all nets. Terry going to work. Fall away. Yes.
Smooth.
That's what the pro scouts want to see. And a takeaway.
And why wouldn't you? It's a pretty looking jumper.
Well, Swanson got it back for Purdue and into Harper for 2.
Money Porter calling her own number.
Well, nobody checks Swanson in transition. Clock dripping. Jones gave it up. 3, Harper rolls down.
Such a tough matchup.
Terry intercepts that. 18th turnover. Ellis with the left hands.
About the defense. It's all about the defense, Connor. Alex Guyton is yelling, duck in, duck in. Janae Terry read it like a...
Welcome back to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. It's time for the Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Couple of men's basketball alums to talk about. Jaden Ivey, playing with the Detroit Pistons, has played 3 games this year, averaging 21.7 points and 4.7 assists in 33 minutes per game. And Zach Edey with the Memphis Grizzlies also has played in 3 games, averaging 8.3 points, 5 rebounds, but most importantly, Coach, he is 1 for 1 from 3-point range, shooting a perfect 100% in the NBA from distance. I don't know what that means, but it was a beautiful looking jump shot.
It was
from
a
the
statement.
corner.
It wasn't a question.
No, it was. That's right. That's right. We were talking about this off the air. He's also picked up a whole bunch of fouls in a few minutes.
Yeah.
It took 4 years for the officials in our conference to try to figure him out, and it looks like it's going to take that long for the NBA officials too.
Yeah, he got wrapped up in one of the games, and one of the officials that I've met a couple times on the baseline just let the guy wrap him up, and like, I mean, that's an obvious foul. He's a Purdue grad, the official was. And I was like, hey, well, where's the Purdue? Where's the love here? Like, but no, he's going to do great. He's going to do great, and the guys around him, like. He's got some really good guys on that team that are going to help him, and a good coaching staff. And so I'm excited to watch, both of those guys. I've seen Jaden play a game and a half. I've seen him play a couple halves. When they take him out, I change the channel.
I understand. I understand. And it's a different situation. We've talked in the past. You got to get in the right situation. I mean, Jaden has walked into a tough spot with a team that has really struggled for the last couple of years.
No doubt. He's had 3 coaches in 3 years. I think more than anything. I think that's harder on a young player than that. But he's getting a great opportunity now. They changed general managers. They changed coaches. They have a good mix. They have some more veteran guys, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., that are in there that are blending with it. They have good young players. Cade Cunningham's a fantastic player. Jalen Duran is strong as an ox, really good young player, only 20, 21 years old. So, I think they have a big upside. They're going to go through some growing pains. I don't think they're a playoff team now, where I think Memphis Grizzlies, I think they can make a move. With Ja Morant coming back into the fold, Desmond Bane's a fabulous player, can really score. Jaren Jackson is a two-way guy that can stretch the defense, block shots. And so they got a lot of really, really good pieces. They got a lot of really good role players. So I think Memphis can really make a move this year.
Let's talk quickly about your non-conference schedule, because you have no say in the Big Ten schedule. Now we have 18 teams, so you get around the country. We get to see everything. The scheduling in the non-conference. So again, you've really put yourself to the test this year, and I think bringing some good teams to Mackey and also playing some tough games away from home.
Yeah, no question about it. Going to San Diego to play NC State, either Ole Miss or BYU, going to Birmingham to play Auburn, playing Texas A&M in Indianapolis, obviously playing Alabama here, a top 5 team, and then going and playing Marquette at Marquette to our one road game outside of our exhibition game. So we're going to be challenged. Texas A&M Corpus Christi comes in here. They've been to the tournament, 2, I think, out of the last 3 years, 2 out of the last 4 years, if I got that correctly. Yale. We have Yale coming, and they've been a tournament team. James Jones does a fabulous job. We have Toledo coming at the end. They've been on the top of the MAC for a long time. Their coach, Todd Kwalchek, does as good a job as anybody in the country, and always has guys, and always seems to, somebody comes to pick his best player from a transfer, and he just goes and gets another guy, and they're great again. So we got some really good headliners there, but we're also got some sneaky teams in there. If you're not ready, they're going to knock you off.
Finally, any changes in rules? It seems like every year there's a tweak or two that fans will notice. Anything that we'll see that the average fan is going to be able to recognize?
I don't think so. I don't know if it's a year for change. They change it every other year. I don't think it's a year for change. But obviously last year they talked about the block charge, how it's going to be a lot more, blocks than anything. They're really trying to take away the collisions more than anything. Yep. But it's been such a big part of the game, right? You want to reward someone who sacrifices their body and who can get set, but it's a tough call.
Yeah.
So that's the downer of all that, because things go, real quick in a game at game speed. It's a tough call, but I don't think there's much this year.
Well, Matt, it's going to be a fun year again. Every game sold out at Mackey Arena. I guess we're just getting used to that now. But it's one of the greatest home court, maybe the best in the country, and never take that for granted.
No, not at all. We appreciate all the support.
All right, good luck, and we'll talk to you from Mackey on Wednesday night.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll have Katie Geralds with us to talk about the women's basketball team when we return. It's Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Purdue miss, able to get the rebound. Abby Ellis, 3-ball goes. Ellis shot fake, Euro step inside, and the Aussie, even though she's from the land down under, gets the Euro to work.
Had a decent season. It was a heartbreaker, them losing in the A-10 championship game. This is an NCAA tournament team.
And a nice transition bucket. Quarterback Janae Terry. Baseline drive from Jayla Smith. Nice pass to Elena Harper. And Duquesne It's having buckets be hard to come by. Drive to the inside, reverse layup for Abby Ellis. As Purdue looks to work on the offensive end, 29-22 the score. Baseline drive, Jones off the window and good.
Yeah, Smith also adding 3 rebounds as well. And you see a block there as she was able to cut the space. And boy, do they need it. 0 of their last 4. No field goals in the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. The Boilermakers are looking to pull away here in this one.
Bucket no good there. Duquesne bringing it back within 9, and Purdue takes it right away.
Yeah, Jayla Smith again on the defensive end and able to finish it off there with the reverse layup.
Mid-range jumper no good. Ellis pulls it down, and she has been a rebounding machine.
Yeah, Abby Ellis with her 6th rebound of the evening. Yeah, Journey Kiaku continue getting her the ball and letting her just go to the basket.
Smith, 3-ball goes. Nice rebound by Johnson. Second effort, no good. Janae Terry pulls down the rebound. Now in transition, it's Jayla Smith with the layup. But Purdue able to slow things down and maintain possession here.
Yeah, Janae Terry is so good. The way that she can handle the ball, the way she delivers.
Purdue miss, able to get the rebound out.
425 Purdue basketball season is presented by Purdue Global. Earn a degree you'll be proud of with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults and the preferred online university degree provider of the Guild and Team USA Learning Network. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu. Going to be joined very shortly by Katie Geralds, but first we will pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Boilermaker Basketball on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
4, 3, 2, 1. You're back.
Back at walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, joined now by Katie Geralds, who's getting her team ready for their exhibition game tomorrow night against Indiana Tech. That one will tip off at 7 o'clock. Good to see you again, back in the saddle.
Yeah.
Year number 4.
Man, it flies.
It does fly. It seems like we were just talking about Big Ten tournaments and postseason tournaments, and here we are with another season.
Yeah, I don't know where October went. I think October 1st, I was like, okay, we got some time, and then man.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Well, you did have some basketball, though, in the offseason. You got to go on a European trip. Talk about, first of all, what that was able to do for you from a bonding and team togetherness standpoint, and then a little bit about what you saw basketball-wise.
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, we had 7 returners, 7 newbies, lost a lot of minutes in graduation and whatnot. So it was an opportunity for really practice in the summer. Normally, we do a lot of skill development. This summer we took it a little differently in practice, used our 4 hours to practice, and it was great because we were working towards having games in August. Sometimes if you can just practice and no games, but went over there, played 3 games, played decent, but when you're over there in a foreign country for 9 days and you only had 3 basketball games, we didn't practice. A lot of just organic bonding within our team. We didn't force anything. We didn't. They were on their own quite a bit, and oftentimes you found them, as a large group, but then a different group, and it wasn't, just me and you were hanging out. It was a different group everywhere you looked, and Barcelona was hot. Porto and Lisbon were just beautiful. I thought we had a great time. Got to get our feet wet a little bit.
And we found out that there is more to life than basketball, and you get a chance to see some of the great cities of Europe while you're over there.
Yeah, we did. We did a lot of great things. The company we took, and Amy did a great job of making sure we were, getting our education done and seeing a lot of things. When we were in Barcelona, we had an amazing race and got to actually compete like we were on the amazing race. So that was pretty cool. Played 1 game in each city. And got to see some really cool places. I tell you what, if anybody wants to go anywhere, go visit Porto, Portugal. Highly recommend it. Beautiful country, not overly expensive, pretty reasonable. And then the history over there is just unbelievable.
You mentioned that you lost a lot of minutes and a lot of production, and it's going to be a little different to come out tomorrow night to Mackey Arena and not see some of those familiar faces. That is both the beauty and the bane of college sports, because you're always turning the roster over, and especially now in the portal era, that revolving door gets a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild for me, really. you know, starting year 4 and not looking up and seeing Janae and Madison and Abby, it's different. And this summer, you know, obviously we've turned the page and whatever, but it's going to be different, you know, not seeing Janae do her goggles out there because she's made probably the most basic, simple pass and still wanted to put some goggles out there. But miss those guys every day. But you know, hopefully we can continue to kind of take the next step, and they were a big piece of that.
You know, it's an interesting team in that a lot of the leadership that you want, you've got underclassmen, and I'm thinking Rashonda Jones and Sophie Swanson, who are they're sophomores, and they're going to have to kind of take some of the mantle. But you're also going to have to rely on some of these portal kids to come in and provide you some maturity and some leadership.
Yeah, you know, I think Sophie and Spider have a huge opportunity right in front of them to kind of take that next step. And what we wanted to do, we wanted to surround them with some veteran leadership. You know, I know that the 4 kids that we got out of the portal, they didn't play here. Obviously, they're from the portal, but they're all, you know, Reagan's in her 4th year, Mari's in her 6th year, Des and Ella are in their 5th year. So they're experienced. They've played college basketball. They know what it's like, know what it's supposed to look like day in and day out, and have done a really good job of, you know, helping Soph and Spider, Amaya, Lana, KP, and then those young guys have done a really good job of being receptive to the voices and the experiences that our older kids have had.
All right, let's talk about those transfers, because those are probably the newest faces that people are going to see on the court the quickest. And we'll start with Reagan Bass, who came to you from Akron, played 3 years there, was on an all-MAC team all 3 years. And watching her play in practice, she's not afraid of the competition, that's for sure.
No, she's going to mix it up out there for us. Can stretch the defense, shoots it pretty well for her position. Rim runs extremely well. Able to do some things on the defensive end where, you know, she can guard bigs but also get on the perimeter and move laterally. Really solid play in Europe. Had a secret scrimmage last week down at Butler, and you know, double.
Yeah.
Like it just and it was a very quiet double. I think you're gonna look down at the box score and be like, oh wow, she does a lot of things.
And a great Purdue fit, civil engineering major, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that definitely helped. You know, a kid that, you know, obviously with radio shows being in the evening, we'll miss a couple of them because of her schedule, and, you know, Elena has some later classes with her load work too. But, you know, we've got to practice from 6 to 8 or 8:30 some nights because of their civil engineering. But, you know, it's important that we help these young ladies set them up for life, and you know, it's a promise we make to them, and we got to make sure we stand by it.
All right, we're going to talk more about some of the transfer additions to the team, as well as some of the returners when we come back. This is Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
What happens at the bottom of those piles when you're fighting for a basketball?
I feel like it's not as bad as football. Football is like the worst what they're doing to each other.
There's Lawyer again. He's got so much in the arsenal.
Yes.
Edie, race for impact. 2 and a foul.
But he is getting downhill. Nolan Winter is going to be a good player, but he certainly needs some time in the strength and conditioning program. And this is just a big-time move. Isn't that he's just hanging out? Purdue's going to have to be good on the backside. Ilver got a good look, but couldn't make it.
They have given Ilver that 3 a couple of times. Breakneck speed. Jones. My goodness.
Jones in the open floor has been just hunting his offense. He's already got 8 points. Ilver goes vertical. Jones takes the bump. That's big-time concentration.
Was up 29-16 by 13. And Wall trying to skip it for Hepburn. It's intercepted. Eyes up. Lawyer. Got it. So much for that.
And Purdue has just been lethal in the open court today. They've got their eyes up. They're hunting shots. And Fletcher Lawyer looks like the Lawyer that was given Tennessee.
Already 6.5 for Wall, who had to pry himself off the ground recently. That's the 3rd foul. And it's 2 and a foul.
Ball screen. Now you are a little bit worried about him as well. And Steven Crowd trying to play 2. Really well done on the pass. Edie keeping it high, taking contact. And on the other side, he's got an opportunity for 3.
When he gets hot, because he will tell you about that.
Well, I think Indiana found out about that.
That is true. High-low. Really high to kind of low.
And Kaufman red.
Boilermakers try to finish off an unbeaten Mackey Arena season. Smith switching hands. Edie using both of his mitts to be able to overturn it. So I agree with you in practice.
You're totally right.
That's going to be hard to overturn.
Live presented by GEMCO. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat free on Tuesdays. Purdue Athletics would like to thank and recognize members of the Black and Gold Club who support Purdue Athletics through their sponsorship at the highest level. Black and Gold Club members include Indiana Packers, Molson Coors, Purdue Federal Credit Union, Purdue Global, Riley Children's Health, State Farm Insurance, Toyota, and Wabash. Each are great partners of Purdue Athletics. We're talking with Katie Geralds about this year's women's basketball team and talking about some of the portal additions. A familiar last name, Mari Petrie, who is the sister of Laisha, who, by the way, is playing professionally now in Puerto Rico, right? Yeah. Has just signed with Puerto Rico. What does Mari Petrie bring to you from UTEP?
A lot of what Laisha did. Just a natural scorer of the basketball. A little bit better rebounder than Laisha was. Laisha always wanted to leak out and go for, go get in transition. Mari's a little bit more committed to the defensive rebounding. Same thing, like Reagan. She's not, very tall, as tall as Reagan, but she can battle, strong, physical, can play multiple positions for us. And with our young freshman post, she's going to be put in a position where, we're going to need her to play some four, but then we're going to need her to play on the perimeter. A shot maker, not quite as awkward as Laisha, but still not as smooth as one would like.
Not the way you would teach a jump shot.
You watch Sophie shoot and then you watch Mari shoot it, and Laisha shoot. It's a little different, but hey, the ball goes in. She's a great finisher at the rim too. Very crafty, playing off off foot, offhand. Does a really good job of finishing the basketball.
Destiny Lombard started her career at LSU, then went to Stephen F. Austin, where she was the WAC Defensive Player of the Year. She can help you on that end. What can she do there, and also to help you offensively this year?
Yeah, excited to have Des with us. Obviously, we use Spider quite a bit to pick up the ball full court and kind of be the ball hawk, and Des gives us a second one. I think she's still adjusting to the way we play in the half court defensively. Because it always seems like she's in the wrong spot but making a play. Just because she's so quick and so athletic, she kind of makes up for it. And when she really settles in and dials in and learns what we're trying to do, it's gonna help us make us that much better on the defensive end. But a big-time shot maker. If her feet are set, she's gonna make shots from the outside, and then doesn't turn the ball over at a high rate. I think she might have led the WAC in assist to turnover ratio. Good post passer. Something we needed some help throwing the ball inside. Des does a good job with that.
Speaking of shot makers, Ella Collier comes to you after 4 years at Marion, where she was a 4-time NAIA All-American and then the 2-time NAIA National Player of the Year. What does Ella Collier bring to the Boilermakers?
Everything. Steadiness, shot making, leadership. She defends, does exactly what we ask her to do. Great high basketball IQ, plays with great pace, understands how to read screens and get open. Doesn't have elite speed, but has the right pace to get open, and I know a little bit about that. So she's going to have a high impact on our team, an opportunity to play and help our ball club win basketball games. And I think her and the other three too, they're just excited about the opportunity to play Big Ten basketball. I think that they're all hungry to prove that they belong, and they won the respect from our other kids and everybody else around here. So I'm excited to get them tomorrow, and exhibition game or not, I feel like we're going to have a decent crowd, and I'm excited to see them under those bright lights tomorrow night.
Katie, how difficult is it to evaluate and pick the right players out of the portal? When you've got a high school player, you can start recruiting that kid years and years before you have to sign her. In this case, it's speed dating on steroids.
No doubt. You got to move fast, and if you don't move fast, you get caught. I mean, I'm in between segments here, and Mark's texting me about about some kids. So, it's something that he does a really good job of making sure we're on top of it. But also, you've got to make sure you do your homework. You don't want to bring in the wrong people into a program where you're trying to build a culture. And I think we did a pretty good job with these four. They fit exactly what we want. They're competitive competitive as all get out. They just want to win everything they do, and it's been fun to be around.
And I know it's also important for you to get to the stage where these are more stopgaps than anything else, because high school recruiting is still going to be the lifeblood of your program.
Yeah, we want it to be. You know, I think you look at what we're trying to do. We like the direction we're headed. You know, but there's gonna be some spaces where you just naturally have to fill, because
right.
you're gonna have things happen, and you have a plan, and it's not gonna go that way. So you got to be able to, you know, divert your plan and make adjustments. And you know, I think Mark, we're in good hands with Mark in that regard.
All right, we're going to have more with Katie Geralds when we come back to Purdue Basketball Live, presented by GEMCO on the Purdue Global Sports Network. This is Boilermaker Basketball from Learfield.
Transition will be key. Matt Painter really preached to his team, keeping Illinois out, and then you can just dump it down and let Edey go to work. Big time flush.
This could definitely be a game where we see a lot of Cam Heide. His size, his physicality, he can match up with some of these bigger Illinois guards.
Deep touch, too deep. Zach Edey rocks the rim.
Round. And then when you let Edey catch this here, I mean, he's once again right at the charge arc. It's one dribble. He's rolling on Coleman Hawkins. And Hawkins, Stephen, he's fighting for his life.
Smith bounce it perfectly delivered for Edey.
Braden Smith, just a simple ball screen. You're popping out Mason Gillis and Marcus Damask. He's a little bit concerned there about Lance Jones as a shooter, rightfully.
But Purdue is doing so good at getting him by himself.
Like what a play. Beautiful lob inside, and Edey with the easy slam.
And they've been running that play for 3 years.
What you're trying to do for the rest of the game.
Doubled Edey immediately. Smith is left open. Cash from three.
That's too easy right there. I mean, that's a step-in three.
Post touch. Edey against Hawkins. Just bodies him up. Can't hit. Oh, the tip in. Kaufman-Renn counted and a foul.
Plays he made in that first meeting where he was just all about effort plays, all about getting on the glass. We talked about it early, Stephen. He's got the physicality and the size to deal with some of the problems Damask can give you. As we say that, what a block.
Edey erases it. Away.
We were pubbing up the offenses coming in, but Zach Edey shooting that, but he's taking this.
Shannon, give and go. Hawkins, blocked.
Great block.
Edey, oh, he stares him down.
Talk about the way that Purdue has handled Terrence Shannon. You want to expound on that after this?
Edey, just add two more to the tally.
Well, just the fact that they've kept Shannon out of transition.
Gillis.
Purdue Basketball is brought to you in part by Purdue Federal Credit Union, the official credit union for Purdue fans. Also brought to you by Lafayette Limo, family-owned, women-owned, serving Greater Lafayette for over 38 years. Shuttles to and from Indianapolis and O'Hare airports 365 days a year. Make your reservations now at LafayetteLimo.com. Lafayette Limo, proud sponsor of Purdue Athletics. This is our first Purdue Basketball Live show of the season. We'll have 13 more after this one. Now, next week's show will be a Tuesday night show because the Boilermaker men's team will be playing on Monday night, and it'll be a men's-only show because you got practice next Tuesday night. And that's we mentioned academics always comes first at Purdue, and you've got to work your practice schedule in the fall around some kids with classes.
Yeah, and I'm not someone who wants to practice at 6 a.m. So we'll take 6 p.m. all day.
Absolutely. Let's we were talking about the newcomers there through the portal. Let's talk about your freshmen, and you've got two big ones, Lana McCarthy and also Kendall Puryear. It's great to have two kids like that come in together that can really push each other, and that sounds like in a good way. And it sounds like that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, a lot of healthy competition between the two. And they both want to be great, and what's so great about them is they both bring different elements to our game. You know, KP's got a little wiggle to her, can move east to west really well, and then Lana is all of 6'4" and can rim run north to south, is elite. And you know, I think because KP can move east to west, we can play them both together and be big. You know, and play KP at the 4, and Lana can stretch it and shoots it well from the perimeter. So, lot of bumps, I'm sure. I think sometimes in practice their head spins when we change up ball screen coverages or, you know, trying to implement things. So try not to rush them too much, but you know, just a big opportunity for those two to come out here and make an impact for our ball club.
Kendall's one of those kids off the court, very nice, very pleasant. On the court, not so much. And a black belt in karate.
Yeah, I think I think you're going to get a lot of action shots with KP with a nasty scowl on her face, just because that's just how she plays every single possession, constantly talking to herself through everything. Super competitive. Has an older brother that played for Zoe at Mizzou. And same way, just comes from a really competitive family, big Kansas City Chiefs fans. So it's always great to have some more people bleeding the red and yellow around here. So
Lana McCarthy comes from a winning background. When I say a winning background, she won 6 state championships in high school, 2 basketball titles, where I think she was 71. Or I'm sorry, 71-9 or 71-8 as a basketball player. But her volleyball team in her 4 years, 80-0.
Yeah, didn't lose.
Undefeated in 4 years, 4 state championships. So this is a kid that's used to standing on the podium and getting a medal put around her.
Yeah, just wants to be a winner. I mean, a winner like in everything. Any drill we do, both her and KP, they want to win everything, and obviously have been winners. I think our official visit our home visit with Lana, we went out there, and Mark and I flew out there to go to a volleyball game, and it was like bam, bam, bam. It was like clockwork. They did so good, and made for a fun night for us because we weren't in the gym watching her. We were able to spend some time with her and her family, but yeah, just a high volume winner.
Now those are the bigs. We're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see the small, but Jordan Poole is she's a bundle of energy. We can't wait to see her get back healthy on the court.
Yeah, us too. She's close. I think starting to maybe play some one-on-one, some controlled one-on-one. So she's done a really good job of making sure she's taking all the steps in for a young woman to follow, who just wants to get out there and play. But she'll bring a different dynamic to our ball club that we don't really have, and can't wait to get number 10 out there.
Another player who's new, even though she was in the program last year, but she hasn't played in more than 600 days. Amaya Reynolds is going to get back on the court tomorrow night for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, it's I think we talked about it earlier, right? 600-something days since she's had a game, and we played obviously in Europe, and we went down to scrimmage at Butler. And she did it. She's gotten better every time she stepped on the court when against somebody else. But I'm excited for her. She deserves it. She's been through it and has stayed the course. Been a great teammate, to everybody, and excited for her opportunity tomorrow.
All right, we have a final segment of Purdue Basketball Live presented by GEMCO coming up. We're on the Purdue Global Sports Network, and this is Boilermaker Basketball from Lear Field.
And now Caitlin Harper has to help from the midline. Well, that's going to free Sarah Williams up for a little dump pass.
Wide open look, and that's cash. 3-point hit, Caitlin Harper.
Caitlin Harper is a tough matchup for any post players. They invert the offense for her. So right there, they just set a fade. She's a true 3-level scorer. We just saw her mid-range. She can get to the rim, but she can also shoot for 3.
With Jones into the game, giving it up. And instant impact off the bench. Pinballing around. Wouldn't quite sit down. Deep 3, lines down, Madison Layden.
Katie Geralds, great staff. They're known for playing scout deep. So they're a team that if doubling is going to work, they're going to double. If zone is going to work, they're going to zone as Caitlin Harper hits that 3.
Being doubled on the box out. Nice extra pass for an Ellis 3 that is all nets. Terry going to work. Fall away. Yes.
Smooth.
That's what the pro scouts want to see. And a takeaway.
And why wouldn't you? It's a pretty looking jumper.
Well, Swanson got it back for Purdue and into Harper for 2.
Connie Porter calling her own number.
Well, nobody checks Swanson in transition. Clock dripping. Jones gave it up. 3, Harper rolls down.
Such a tough matchup.
Terry intercepts that. 18th turnover. Ellis with the left hands.
About the defense. It's all about the defense, Connor. Alex Guyton is yelling, duck in, duck in. Janae Terry read it like a quarterback.
GEMCO Constructors is supporting your Boilermakers as the presenting sponsor of Purdue Basketball Live and proud partner of Purdue Athletics. GEMCO Constructors, Boiler Up. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where there's validated parking and kids eat for free on Tuesdays. All right, you got a game tomorrow night. Indiana Tech, an NAIA team that you are familiar with, the Warriors out of Fort Wayne. They've already played a game. They've played a regular season game against Huntington and won that one. And they're a team that's picked and finished ranked 12th nationally in the preseason NAIA poll.
Yeah, Jessie does a good job. Her kids are going to play really hard. A lot of similar player positions. They all shoot it. Good long arms. Great athletes. What do they have to lose? Come in here, and it doesn't mean anything for either team, but an opportunity for us to get better. An opportunity for them to get better, but I told the squad today, like, you guys all see how good Ella Collier is, right? They're like, yeah, okay, well, NAI player, like same thing. Like, we've got to come in here, we've got to be ready to go from the get-go. I think I brought my NAI school in here a few years ago when I coached down there, and I think it was a pretty close game at halftime. So we've got to come in here ready to go.
If you can wave your magic wand, Katie, and say, this is the kind of basketball team I want to put on the floor in 2024-25, what is it going to look like?
A highly competitive group that's going to compete all 40 minutes or 45 if it takes it. A team that's going to, battle on the glass. We've got to win the glass, right? We've got to win the glass. We're bigger inside, so hopefully we can clean up some things where we missed that last year. A little bit longer on the perimeter and more athletic. So the idea is to every coach wants to play faster, but the idea is to really play faster. If we don't have to run any sets and we can just play in the open floor, I think we've got a team that can do that. But it's really about competing every single possession. We love this group. The highly competitive human beings in our locker room right now, and I think that's going to translate onto the basketball court. Quick
question on the schedule. Obviously, the Big Ten this year has expanded to 18, and the 4 teams they've brought in are pretty darn good, including the 2 in the top 5, USC and UCLA. You've got a challenge this year with your schedule because you're playing 4 of the top 6 teams in the Associated Press preseason poll. So good luck. Good luck with that.
We're going to have some fun. Obviously, the return game with Notre Dame, and then we've got South Carolina down in Florida. But, USC and UCLA, I think on my preseason, I had like 6 players from that team picked. Very, very
same thing.
Highly talented.
All Big Ten.
Highly talented young women. And, what a cool opportunity to play against the best. The Big Ten is probably the best conference in the country in a lot of sports. And, I think women's basketball is just on the rise, and excited to keep riding the wave and feeling Mackey all year.
Well, and the great thing is USC and UCLA come to Mackey, so fans are going to be able to see them play, but also see your team with an opportunity to compete against the best.
Yeah, and you only get everybody one time, right? So you got to make sure you're taking care of business, but you don't have to play them 10 times. You just have to play them once, and maybe you find a way to catch them that day.
Katie, looking forward to seeing the Boilermakers play this year. It starts tomorrow night at 7 o'clock against Indiana Tech. Good luck.
Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. All right, we want to thank both Katie Geralds and Matt Painter for being with us. Again, Purdue Basketball Live will be on next Tuesday night. Tuesday night will be the next show because of the basketball schedules. Want to thank our engineer, Wes Scott, our producer, Hunter Stunkel, and our video tonight from McCarty Cummings. The Boilermakers will take on Indiana Tech on the women's side tomorrow at 7. The men take on Grand Valley State Wednesday at 7, and then everything gets erased, and we start clean with the regular season on Monday. For everybody, this is Tim Newton. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week on Purdue Basketball Live. Good night, everybody.